Hello there, freedom marketers. It's Divya Mystery here. I decided I'm going to be live again. We're doing some lives again after taking a bit of a sabbatical um, from doing live streams. And look, I'm really excited because I feel like there's so much more value I can add from taking this break. And I want to start sharing that with you. So, in this very first brand new live stream, we're talking about the power of one. And this is incredible. This is something that will transform your life and your business. And I'm not, I don't say that lightly. This is not just some hocus pocus kind of thing that go, oh yeah, this little tool over here, get it, and it will transform your life. And in reality, it makes a difference, but not a big difference. This is something that will really transform your life. You don't have to pay for it. It's totally free. You don't have to buy some software. It's totally free. You just have to use this tool that I'm about to teach you. And implement it in the things that you do in business and in life to go and get better results. And I call it the power of one. And let's go right into what really is this power of one thing, Divian. It's a good question. And it's really what the power of one is this ability that you develop, this choice that you make to focus in on one thing. Now, this doesn't mean focusing on one thing forever. It doesn't mean focusing on one thing and then the wrong thing that doesn't get you results. It means focusing on the one thing that you know is going to accelerate you forward today, this week, this month, this year, in your business, in your personal life, in your relationships, in your physical ability, your emotional, your spiritual connectedness. It's picking that one thing that's going to accelerate you. And often in times, I know I've done this in life and in businesses, we kind of think that we're capable of doing so many different things. And you're an entrepreneur. If you're watching this, you are an entrepreneur. And being an entrepreneur, I almost guarantee that you probably, on some level, way, shape, or form, are capable of doing a number of different things. Because us entrepreneurs need to do a plethora of different things and have lots of different skills to run a business successfully. One day you've got to be the bookkeeper. You've then got to be the accountant. Even if you hire an accountant, you kind of got to know that stuff, right? You've got to be the marketer. You've got to be the operational person. You've got to be creating the online programs, the courses, the coaching. You've got to be delivering the courses of coaching. You've got to be the tech person, or at least got to understand it. You've got to be the social media guy. You've got to make sure that you understand how to do so many different things in your business to run a successful business. However, there's usually one thing that you can do today, one thing you can focus on this week, one thing you can focus on in the month, one thing you can focus on in the year that will lead to bigger, better, and greater results and increase your happiness in that process. Because we get more happiness when we are helping people, when we're doing things, when we're sharing the love and sharing what our business really has to offer. And, Gandhi said it in a great way. We find ourselves when we lose ourselves in the service of others. And so that's a really important thing to discover, is what is the thing that enables you to serve other people better than you're currently serving them. And you've got to focus to be able to do that. You can't just be doing lots of different things. And I just want to give you an example of how I've done that recently. And the reason I've been quiet and I've been kind of doing stuff behind the scenes, I've been building this funnel marketing business actually totally behind the scenes. I haven't even released a funnel, and I've been getting clients coming in. And the reason why is because I've been focusing on one thing. And that one thing actually in my life has been letting go of a load of stuff. And you might think that's a bit woo-woo, Divian. It is, if you want to class it as woo-woo, but I'm not afraid to tell you that it's made a huge difference in my life. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it energy. You can call it the universe. You can call it broccoli. You can call it God, whatever you want to call it. But, letting go of things in your life and focusing in on that one thing that really you're passionate about, that you really want to improve, that you want to get right, you want to get better, you want to get more results from, that is what is going to get you results. Okay, so in the last few months, I've totally closed down one of my businesses, which is a property education business. I totally closed it down. I was like, I'm done with this. I don't enjoy doing this anymore. It was getting me results, but I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, that's done. And another one of my businesses, we're in the process of looking for a buyer for that business, and we're going to be moving on from that business. And so as a result of that, hopefully by the end of this year, my sole focus is going to be on helping people with their funnels. 100% of my focus is going to be on this and nothing else. And I can tell you the results just keep getting better as I focus more on this. The more time I spend on it, the more thought I give it, the more energy I give it, the happier I become, the more clients I get, the better I can fulfill them clients, and the more referrals I'm getting. Like, I haven't even done any proper marketing yet, and people are coming to me, and I can't keep up with it. And I want the same for you. And the reality is, for you to get that, it requires pinpoint focus. It was like a couple of years ago. And I bet you, if you go and do this in your business, you'll see the same thing. I'm sure you've all heard of the 20-80 rule. 20% of your effort creates 80% of your results. 80% of your effort creates 20% of your results. And in the same way, 20% of your customers will produce 80% of your income, and 80% of your customers will produce 20% of your income. And I every year, at the end of the year, around Christmas time, I kind of I take a spreadsheet and go, right, let me map out my income. Where has my income come from this year? And I remember doing this a couple of years back. And what I realized when I did this is that it was actually more extreme than the 20-80 principle. It was something like around 90% of my income came from around 10% of my customers. And when I looked at that, I thought, wow, that's a big... that's a big amount, that's a big figure, and it kind of matches up roughly with the 20-80 principle. And when I focused in, I thought, well, where's that money coming from? And the majority of that money was coming from one of my products. I had something like 7 or 8 products, and one of them products was producing 90% of the income in that business. And I thought, wow, this is quite interesting. And then I had a look at all of my funnels, and I looked and I saw which one of the funnels is selling the most of this particular program with the least number of refunds and all that kind of stuff. Refund rates, that you've got to factor that in. And so I had a look, and there was one funnel that I had that produced the biggest number of sales. So for the rest of that year, what I did is I focused in on that funnel and did my best to make it better and better and better and better, and just kept running it over and over and over again. And the conversion rate was high. It was a decent conversion rate, and it was started to become predictable. Now, I, at this point, made a fatal error. And I don't want you to make this error, so please don't make this error. I made the fatal error that I decided to change tact, do something different. Because what I had done up to that point, this is a webinar funnel. What I had done up to that point is I'd sent my list over and over and over again into this webinar funnel. And I sometimes I deliver it live, sometimes I automated it, sometimes I did a hybrid where I got the recording, I pressed play, did the first little bit live, pressed play, did the last little bit live. And I did kind of a combination of these. And I did it on purpose because I wanted to test what worked the best. And I didn't see a huge difference between live and pre-recorded and automated. There was a difference. I didn't see a huge difference. There was a difference, a couple of percent. But a couple of percent can make a big difference in any business, really. And what I did is this was working. But what wasn't working was the number of leads I was getting into that funnel. So because I kept going back to the same database over and over and over again, the same set of people over and over and over again, and telling them about the same thing in the same way, that wasn't working. And what I did is I went away from this power of one, and I went, right, I've got to do something else now. And I did, and I made that other stuff successful. But when I then reanalyzed the year later after that, where my income had come from, it kind of started to be a bit more sporadic. Like, it wasn't. I started selling a lot more lower price products and less higher price products, and in a way that I personally didn't like. Looking back on it, not at the time it was cool, but looking back on it, I didn't like that. And so what I did is I went away from this power of one, and I didn't scale this webinar. And I knew intrinsically inside, in my heart, in my gut, I knew that the right thing was to scale this webinar, and I didn't do that. Had I focused in on that power of one, that one webinar, and went, right, how do I scale this? How do I get this to more people? How do I get more people on my list? How do I get them indoctrinated before they get onto the webinar? And how do I increase conversion on the webinar and after the webinar and just get more and more people through this? I probably would have had a funnel that probably would have ended up producing 7 figures relatively easily. But in reality, what happened is I deviated away from that. Now, I don't run that business anymore. That's the business I shut down. But I've really seen, by focusing in, going, I'm going to focus on this one business, this one thing, this thing that is really going to get me results, this thing that I love doing, this thing that is going to serve the market the best, and get it right. Get it to a point where it makes you the amount of money you would like to make and has the impact you'd like it to have before you move on. And I don't mean making 10 sales. I don't mean making 10 sales. I mean making the number of sales you want to make. Unless 10 sales is how many you want to make, which is cool. But then go back to that funnel and that thing. It doesn't have to be a funnel, by the way. It can be anything in your life. You might see that the first time you go on a diet, it doesn't quite work. And you're not really sure why it doesn't work because you're not an expert at this. And you kind of go, well, let me go and do another diet. And it's a common problem. It's like everybody does this in their lives. They go, this doesn't work, so let's move over there. Instead of figuring out which part of this bit doesn't work as well as you want it to work. That focusing on that one thing will make your life simpler and easier and get you to results faster. And so how can you go and implement this? Well, in your business, you could focus this month. It can be any period of time. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be you spend the rest of the year on this one funnel. It could be this month. I'm going to focus in on this one thing, this one funnel, this one product, this one service, this one whatever it is. My target is to do this X number of sales, and I'm going to focus in and go, what are all the different ways in which I can get the business in? What are all the different ways I can sell? What are all the different ways I can get more exposure? What's all the different ways I can do this? And making that even simpler is, how do I best love making these sales, and what do I need help with? So you're focusing in on what you love doing, making that right, getting that right, making that work, and you give the rest to other people where it's the right thing to give away and the right thing to do. And when you have that pinpoint focus, results come in really quickly. And now, personally, I want to share some more about why I think this is the case. This is the University of Divian. So this is my thought patterns. This is not scientific evidence. But I think the reason that this occurs, and I personally believe in a higher power. I believe in God. And I'm not... By the way, if you don't believe in anything spiritual, you can replace God with spiritualness, with energy, with the universe, with the word broccoli, whatever... With just the word the unknown, whatever you want to replace it with. But I'm going to be using the word God because that works for me. And I know for a fact that some people here will be like, ooh, I don't like that word God. And that's cool. Like, you don't have to be in this group. You don't have to listen to my live streams. If that totally puts you off, then cool. I'm cool with that. Like, more than happy for you to go and move on and listen to other people who don't talk about God. That's totally cool. But replace God with the universe, energy, broccoli, whatever you want to replace with, the unknown, a higher power, whatever, right? But the reality is, I think when you focus in on this one thing and you really desire that thing to happen, you desire it with all your heart, and you go, I really am committing this one thing, not just for you, but for the greater good of the world, because you have something to really give and serve them with. That's when the universe, broccoli, the unknown, energy, God, whatever you want to call it, conspires to help you. They go, right, well, this person genuinely means it, So we're going to go and make this happen. We're going to make this happen. And it may not occur exactly how you want it to occur. You've got to be committed. You've got to go, you know what, I'm going to focus on this one thing. And I'm going to keep focused, and I'm going to keep getting better at it and doing more around it. And if there's other things that come in, which could be other opportunities, I'm going to say no to them. Because I know this one thing is the thing that I want to focus on, that I can most help people with. That's most aligned with me and what I'm doing. And by doing that, the whole universe conspires to help you and says, I'm going to present opportunities. But there will be also, in that same process, other opportunities will be presented that are not right for you. And that's kind of like a test in a way. It's kind of like a test. Can you stay on this path? Can you stay on this path to getting the result that you really want to get? And that's the question, right? If you can focus in, you only need one idea, one product, one focus to get to where you want to get to. Assuming, okay, if you want to be one of the biggest companies in the world, you might need a few more products. But right now, if you're not earning what you want to earn, if you're not getting the results you want to get, if you haven't got the clients that you really want to have, that where it just feels amazing to work with them, where it's not awkward, where it's not like, oh, I just feel I want to get out of this environment, where you have the clients where you want to have a call with them, you genuinely want to know what's going on in their life, where you can really serve them, when you love being in their business, in their lives. Well, if you want to get them kind of clients, you got to focus. You got to focus, and you got to say no to the opportunities that don't work for you. And I did this recently. There's somebody who approached me, has a very big business, international business, and I've decided that they're not that person, that business is not right for me to work with, because they're not coming from the same place that I'm coming from. They don't have the values that I have, and I want to serve people who have the same values as me. And I want to focus in on that, and the universe then conspires to help me make that happen by me focusing on the power of one. So whether it's business, whether it's your diet, whether it's your health, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your connection with spirituality, universe, God, whatever you want to call it, if you focus in on that one thing that you can do today, this week, this month, this year, and go, I'm on a mission to master this one thing, this one type of client, this one way of me getting the physical body the physical energy and body that I want, this one way of me really showing who I am, so the partner I really want in life comes into my life. You still got to take some action, right? You got to go out there and look for people. There's one way of thing that you've never really done before, that you want to become an ingrained habit, that you do that all the time in your business, in your life, in whatever it is. When you conspire to go, that's the one thing I'm going to focus on, magic happens. Absolute magic happens. We just had someone join us, said hello. I can't actually see who you are, which is really odd. I don't know why my software is not telling me who you are, but hey, whoever just joined me, thank you so much for joining us. I'm talking about the power of one, having one focus in your business, in your life, wherever it is. This power of one is so powerful that I believe the universe conspires to help you achieve that when you focus in. And that might mean doing some hard stuff where you're letting go of parts of your business, parts of your life that in deep down inside in your heart are not serving you and not getting you to where you want to get to, and not helping you to help other people. Because look, if you're in the world of coaching or online courses or whatever you're selling, if you genuinely want to help other people, you've got to let go of stuff. You yourself have to let go of your limiting beliefs, your belief that you can't do it. This is quite a common belief. That you're alone, quite a common belief to have. I know I've been through that process. You've got to let go of that stuff, and you've got to focus in on that one purpose you've got and the one strategy to get there. And until you fulfill that strategy, that purpose, that drive to get there in that way, you just stay on that path. And don't be worried about, it's not happened yet. Just stay on that path. Because as long as you're taking action and you're staying on that path and you're testing, let's take a funnel, for example. You might go, this month, I want to test this part of my funnel, the headline on the sales page for the next week or the next month. It might be that you want to test the opt-in page and get it from 30% to a 40% opt-in rate. Well, it's going to take some time and some different variables to test. And the key thing is focus on that one thing and don't be in a rush. Make sure you test it properly, get it right, get it working, and then move on to the next thing. That is the power of one and the focus of one. Okay, so I'm going to be doing live streams like this once a week from now on, most likely on a Wednesday. And I would love for you to invite more people into this group. If you're on this live stream watching the recording, please invite more people into the group. The group is not going to be limited to it's not going to be exclusive. We're going to let people in. Obviously, they've got to follow the rules, but we're going to let people in. I'd love for you even to just go out and invite 5 people today who may be coaches, entrepreneurs, experts, somebody who's out there to help other people who want help with their marketing. Right? If you know anybody who wants help with their marketing, with their business to move it forward, invite them into this group. We're going to open it up so anybody can join, and I'm going to be here once a week helping you. And in between that, by the way, you got questions, put it in the group. Like I want to get this group to become a place where you can feel the love of and the flow of being able to get answers, to connect with the people who are like-minded, who are heart-centered, who really want to help grow their business, and you can help them grow theirs. Or I want this to be a place where you can feel safe to ask any question you want to ask about growing your business. So hey, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream, the first one I've done in quite a while, and I'm looking forward to doing this every week. I'm giving you some great value every single week to enable you to grow your business and create the impact that you've always wanted to create. So thank you so much for joining me. I see you next week.